looking for a friend like Jesus. It's time to share, there's a world out there. Let's tell him that he loves us so. Let's tell him that he loves us so. Kids time, kids time, kids time.
Hi, boys and girls. Today I would like to show you a picture of my grandson, Michael. He's almost 4 years old, and this is him up on my kitchen counter helping me make bread. And I let him get his hands in there, and he gets flour all over the place, and we have such a good time. We have lots of fun doing lots of things together. One thing he loves, though, is when I tell him stories. And I love telling him stories. I get all animated, and if there's a doggy or a cat in the story, I make the animal noises for him, and he just giggles. And you know what? When I finish, you know what he usually always says to me? Grandma, tell it one more time. Well, you know, I'm sure there's probably been favorite stories you like to hear over and over again too, isn't there? Well, another family I know loves it when their grandpa tells them about the day his mother asked him to open a jar of rotten strawberries. Now, he was just a little boy, and his mother had asked him to open the jar for her. She didn't know the strawberries had gone bad, though, and he tried and he tried, but he could not get that lid to turn. So finally, she grew impatient and she reached out to help him. Well, just at that moment, the jar of rotten strawberries exploded. I mean, rotten strawberries, and juice went everywhere. Oh, it stunk. It was awful. All over the walls, all over the ceiling, all over the table, and all over his mother. You know, there was a perfect outline of her head on the wall from the rotten strawberry juice. He laughed and laughed to see the expression on her face. And, you know, her eyes got wide and she gasped, and, you know, her mouth formed into a tiny, surprised, oh. He still laughs out loud every time he tells that story, even though it happened almost 70 years ago. Well, today we'll hear a story that I'm sure the young Israelite boys and girls love to hear their parents tell over and over again. I can just hear them saying, "Please, Mommy, please, Daddy, please tell it just one more time." And I'm sure their moms and dads were glad to tell it. You'll hear the story from someone who was there. But first, we'll see what Ranger Jim has in store for us.
Hi, boys and girls. Ranger Jim saying welcome to Nature Time. We're glad you can join us today. We're at Gatlinburg, Tennessee at a place called Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. And what a fun place to be. We've had a lot of fun today. And we have the senior biologist, Frank, is with us. And Frank, we were looking at a tank a while ago of some fish about this long, and they're called barracuda. I've heard that barracuda eats everything they come in contact. Is this true?
Well, that is fairly true. Barracuda is a top-line predator in the ocean, and they're very efficient predators.
So they do feed on other fish then?
Yeah, they're highly adapted. Their teeth are razor sharp. Their tails are designed for quick bursts of speed, and they're very efficient at catching and eating other fish.
Well, are they a danger to human beings? If you went out and swimming in the ocean, would an attack occur? Or?
Attacks do occur, but they're rare, and they usually occur under certain conditions. If the water's murky and someone's wearing shiny jewelry that may look like a bait fish, there's a possibility that barracuda could mistake that and bite a person. Or the other thing, when people hook them on hook and line.
As a sports fish, they like to catch them.
Yeah, they jump and go crazy, and occasionally when an animal is jumping, if it jumps into the boat.
With those razor sharp teeth.
Those teeth are razor sharp.
And then you would have problems with them like that.
Yes.
Okay? Now tell me, are they of value to us as food fish? Would we think of that?
The barracuda can be a good eating fish, but only as a young fish. A high-level predator in a coral reef environment that's feeding on other fishes that have been feeding on algae in the coral reef environment can accumulate toxins in its tissue. There are toxins in the algae. They call it bioaccumulation. The toxins originate in the algae. Other fish eat the algae, and they build a little bit up. But the barracuda is eating all those other fish that have been concentrating that, so the toxin level goes up as they go up the food chain.
So the lesson would be to boys and girls and to adults, older boys and girls, if you live in an area where the barracuda, be very careful if you would eat them, okay? You would be very careful about that. What about reproduction? Do they lay eggs on the ground or in the sea, or what? How is that reproduction?
The barracuda is what you call a broadcast spawner.
Broadcast.
They just broadcast their eggs in the water, and they're fertilized by the males in the water, and they drift off, and they don't adhere their eggs to a substrate or on the bottom. They float with the currents, and they go through. A lot of the juveniles will get carried into the estuaries, and that's why estuaries are so important for so many animals as a brood ground for the young fishes.
Okay, tell us now, boys and girls, this estuary you're talking about, Frank, tell us what an estuary is.
An estuary is an area where a river meets the sea. It's where the fresh water and the salt water mix, and you'll often have salt marshes or mangrove swamps.
Calmer water.
These wetland areas are extremely important to the environment because so many species of fish use it as a nursery area. And they're extremely, even coral reef fish use the estuaries as a nursery area.
That's great. Isn't that wonderful, boys and girls, that we can learn that? All right, now these are adult that we're seeing. These are about as big as barracuda get. These are about the adult fish.
They're adult size. They get a little bit bigger. I think maximum size is about 6 feet.
Oh,
That's a
6-foot
big barracuda.
And he would have teeth like that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So he could be a very, very efficient predator.
Oh, yeah.
Well, once again, Frank, thank you for coming and telling the boys about barracudas. Boys and girls, it's a thrill for me to learn too, because you may think Ranger Jim knows all about these things, but I don't. But the one thing that I do know is who made them. Our Heavenly Father made them. What a wonderful creator God He is. So don't forget to tell Jesus that you love Him, because He really does love you.
Hey kids, do you like to sing hymns in church? I do. But there was a time during the 17th and 18th centuries when people didn't want to sing hymns in churches. They only wanted to sing psalms from the Bible. Others thought it was okay to compose hymns for church. Some churches, to solve the problem, would sing a psalm at the beginning and a hymn at the end. That way, the people who didn't want to sing a hymn could either leave or sit quietly. This fact disturbed hymn writer Isaac Watts greatly, which is shown in one of the verses in Marching to Zion. It says, "Let those who refuse to sing, who never knew their God." Mr. Watts must have chuckled during this verse, because he knew we're all children of the Heavenly King.
Boys and girls, we'll never refuse to sing. Let's sing We're Marching to Zion.
Sing who never knew our God, but children of the Heavenly King, but children of the Heavenly King may speak their joys abroad, may speak their joys abroad.
We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God. Let our songs command and every tear be dried. We're marching to Emmanuel's grounds. We're marching to Emmanuel's grounds. To fairer worlds on high, to fairer worlds on high. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upward to Zion, the beautiful city of God.
I love gingerbread, and today I have an easy, simple recipe for you that's not only delicious, but healthy too. And it comes with these cans, and I bet you're wondering what these are for. Well, I'm going to let you know. But first, let me read the recipe for you. 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 cup of pure Florida crystals, 1/4 cup of molasses, 1/4 a cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now we're going to start with our dry ingredients. We're going to put our flour, our all-purpose flour in, and our sugar crystals. Now you can do just your dry ingredients, but within the dry ingredients, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. Just make sure that you don't put your molasses in and your lemon juice and water. That's going to be at the end. Now is the cinnamon. This is the ginger and the nutmeg, all the spices and the baking soda. Just kind of stir those up just a little bit, just to get the seasonings all throughout the flour. Okay, and now we're going to add our molasses and water and lemon juice. Water, lemon juice, and the molasses. There we go. And just kind of stir that all up. Now I know a lot of times you might think of gingerbread at around Christmas time or that kind of thing, but Christmas time or not, gingerbread is delicious all throughout the year. Anytime you want to make it up. Now when you get it all stirred up, I have 2 cans here. And what you're going to use these for is you're going to take your nonstick cooking spray and spray them throughout the can. When you get that all sprayed in there, what these actually cans are, they're just 2.5 diameter soup cans. And you can just get them from your favorite soup, and after you finish the soup, just clean out the can and you can use it for gingerbread. Now you're going to take this gingerbread that you've made and kind of split it up the mixture about half and half so that you can split it between the 2 cans you have. And just take the gingerbread, put it into your soup can, half of it, get it in there, and then put the rest of it in the other can. Now if you're going to touch it like I just did, make sure that you wash your hands and have clean hands like I have. Now you're going to bake these at 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes, but and they should be done. Now I have a finished product already baked for you, and this is what it's going to look like. Just like that. It's beautiful. And you know, there's other ways you don't have to bake it in a can like that, but I just think it's really fun to have in a circle like that, because it's a little different than you would normally have a bread. Well, it's just like that, perfect for a healthy snack to eat. And until next time, remember to keep cooking and eat healthy. Gershon, tell us about the story about your father Moses crossing the Red Sea, please. One more time.
Again?
One more time, please.
All right. I've already told you the story 50 times. I guess one more time won't hurt. Well, many, many years ago, let me tell you about what happened. First of all, 400 years. For 400 years, the Egyptians ruled over us with an iron hand. They whipped us. They beat us. They made us build large statues and monuments to Pharaoh. They made us do it with bricks without. Oh, it was a terrible, terrible time. Well, God sent my father Moses to Egypt and told Pharaoh, the king of the Egyptians, let my people go. Pharaoh said no, and it wasn't until God sent plagues. He sent flies and he sent frogs, and it wasn't until he had every single firstborn of the Egyptians to die that Pharaoh finally told Moses that he would let his people go. Our people, our family, the Israelites. Well, it was a wonderful day to be leaving Egypt. We were so excited. You should have seen us. There were oxen, there were cattle, there were sheep, and the people, thousands and thousands of us finally getting our freedom from the iron hand of Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Oh, it was a happy day. You should have seen us crossing and leaving Egypt and going on to the place that God said we would inherit, called the Promised Land. We were leaving and we left Egypt and we were headed out and we came through the wilderness, and God was so wonderful to us. God sent a ball of fire by night and a cloud by day to guide us, his children, the Israelites, out of Egypt. Oh, you should have seen it. It was wonderful. All of us finally gaining our freedom and independence. Well, after a while, Pharaoh, mean old nasty grumbling Pharaoh, finally figured out who's going to make our bricks, who's going to make our straw. And his wife teased him and told him, now you're in a lot of trouble because you don't have the Israelites to labor in the hot sun to make all of your bricks and your monuments. So Pharaoh got mad and he stretched on, he put on his own armor, and he had the entire army of the Egyptians to come out to try and catch us as we were leaving. So the army of the Egyptians were on their way to get us and to take us back into that horrible place, to do those horrible tasks for that horrible man named Pharaoh. There we were on our way to the promised land. We were so happy. We were singing and we were rejoicing until we heard something in the background. We didn't know what it was at first until we finally could hear it and see it. It was Pharaoh's entire army coming after us to take us back into slavery. Well, we were so nervous, and we said to Moses, my father, many of us were so ungrateful. We said, you brought us out here in the wilderness to die? Now we're going to die at the hands of the Egyptians. Here, we were at the border of the Red Sea. There we were. The sea was in front of us, mountains on either side, and Pharaoh's army in the back. We were in lots and lots of trouble. Moses had led us. We didn't know what to do. Moses walked up to the Red Sea and he took his rod like this one, and he stretched it out over the Red Sea. And would you believe that the waters parted directly down the middle? I mean, the waters went this way and they went that way and they went up and they went up that way and they went back, and the sea parted. The big old great big Red Sea parted. And it was like dry ground, like this ground right here we're sitting on. Dry ground. God had opened the Red Sea for us to walk through. And all of God's people, all of us Israelites, led by my father Moses, we all walked through the Red Sea.
Could you put your hand through the water?
You could put your hand through the water. You could touch a fish. You could do lots of things. We could see some of the big whales and everything in the water on either side of us. God was giving us a path all the way through. And we walked through the Red Sea. What a great day it was. And we finally got all the way through the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army, they were nervous at first, and when they saw us go through, they came through too. But the waters started to come back a little and got a little bit muddy. And when the entire army, Pharaoh's army, got in the Red Sea, the waters collapsed on them, and every single one of Pharaoh's army were drowned in the Red Sea. God once again took care of us. He promised he would. He promised that he'd take care of us. And he took care of us on that great day when God parted the Red Sea. And he'll take care of us. I know he will, always.
Can you tell us another story or tell it again, please? Please?
No. I'm sorry, not anymore. Not today. I'm so tired. Oh, come here, little one. Oh.
I will sing of the mercies of the Lord forever. I will sing. I will sing.
boys and girls. I'm here with my friend Hannah, and she's going to help me introduce the Book of the Day. And it is quite the book, too. It is Detective Zach Mystery on the Midway by Jerry D. Thomas. It said, when Zach first gets to the county fair, his biggest problem is keeping Grandma's prize-winning chickens behind the bars. But a lost hamster and a stolen camera leave Zach, Kyla, and Dusty with no answers. And until the mysterious Madame Laton asks an angel to help them. Suddenly, Zach has two mysteries to solve. It says, is their new friend Donovan really the thief? And can Madame Laton really talk with angels? And are angels waiting to do whatever people ask? Between riding the Ferris wheel, talking with the suspicious security guard, and visiting the game booths with his new carny friend, Zach searches for clues. Add in a chicken with a bad attitude, a llama on the loose, and strange messages from Madame Laton's Blue Angel, and once again, Zach is up to his hat in a mystery that leads to a discovery of truth. This time, the truth about angels. Oh, that sounds good. Doesn't that sound good, Hannah?
Yeah.
Oh, does that sound like a book you'd want to read?
Yeah, definitely.
Me too. Well, before I read some letters to you and talk with Hannah, we have someone on the phone right now I'd like you to talk to, and this is Josie. Hi, Josie.
Hi, Miss Brenda.
Hi, I'm so glad to talk with you. You know, boys and girls everywhere have seen you on Kids Time before, haven't they?
Yes.
And where have they seen you? What have you been doing?
Well, I play the harp, the piano, the flute, the banjo, and we've sung up there before.
That's right, many times, and I really appreciate how you share Jesus on Kids Time. But I know that Jesus is in your heart, and you share him every day. So do you have any new experiences you can tell us?
Yes. A few weeks ago, we did VBS, and I helped a few kids come closer to Jesus by being their crew leader, and also we do music for church, and I find that one way to really share them is to smile a lot, and when people ask me why I smile so much, I tell them about Jesus, and they really believe that I'm really close to him.
And how much do you love Jesus?
Oh, very much.
I know you do. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And you know what? I know that you have a sister, Jilly. Is she there right now? We could talk to her for a couple minutes?
Yeah, sure. Here
Okay.
she is.
Hi, Jilly.
Hi, Miss Brenda.
Oh, hi, honey. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I want to thank you for all your hard work taping programs on Kids Time.
You're welcome.
And can you tell me, is there anything new you've been doing to share Jesus?
Yes, I show Jesus through my music. We went up to 3abn's 4 times this year.
Oh, yes, you do. You share them through your music. And what kind of instruments do you play?
I play the piano, harp, dulcimer, and I just started taking organ and guitar lessons.
Wow, isn't that something? What's your favorite instrument?
Well, I like them all.
You like them all?
Uh-huh.
That's a good answer. Well, I want to thank you so much for all that you do for Jesus, and I want to encourage you both to keep sharing Jesus, won't you?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for talking to us.
You're
Bye-bye
welcome.
now. Thank you so much. That was good to talk to them, aren't they? And they do a lot it's really hard work because it takes lots of hours of practice. And boys and girls, if you'd like to be on Kids Time, all you have to do is send me a video of you playing your musical instrument or singing, whatever it is that you play, and send it to me at 3ABN, and I look at all the tapes, and then I'll contact you, and we'll get you booked for the program, okay? Well, before I start reading my letters, I have Hannah here with me. And Hannah, it's so good to have you on the program. First of all, how old are you and where are you from?
I'm 10 years old and I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, you know, Miss Brenda used to live in Wisconsin. In fact, I graduated from Wisconsin Academy. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Have you ever been to Wisconsin Academy?
Yes, I have.
You have, so that's a pretty nice school there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is. So let me ask you, have you had a chance to share Jesus recently?
Yes, just recently I was at a summer camp and there was a girl in my tent. She didn't have very many friends and she didn't know Jesus very well. So I tried to witness to her as much as I could and just hang out with her. And just be her friend.
Oh, that was really a good thing to do. You know, it's really sad sometimes when someone, usually sometimes if they're shy, they can come across as maybe being snooty or whatever, and really they're just shy, and they're not, you know, a bad person at all. They just, you know, don't know how to interact with others. So it's really good when you take that step, because that's the Christian thing to do, isn't it? And be friends with the unfriendly. And it's easy to be friends with somebody, you know, that you like and that's bubbly and laughing all the time, right? But Jesus wants us to be friends with everyone, doesn't he? And you know, it'd be nice if you keep praying for that friend.
Yeah, I will.
All right, that's good. Well, would you like to hear some of our letters? We got lots of letters on Kids Time. Let's see, this one is from Jessica, and she's from East Flat Rock, North Carolina. Let's see what she has to say. Oh, can you hold up that picture for me? And let's see here. It says, if I can get it open, it says, Dear Miss Brenda, I am 12 years old, and I talked to you on the phone the other day. I have not seen a lot of your shows. Me and my grandma, we watch your shows together. I really like them a lot when I can see them, and I love God very much. He's helped me through a lot in the past. We don't get to go to church much, so thanks for talking to me on the phone. I'm in 6th grade. Here's a picture of me, and please pray for me. And sometimes, you know, I have to go to my dad's, so the Lord helps me a lot for my dad. Please pray the Lord help my real dad to stop drinking alcohol. Well, it says, I have to go now. Talk to you later. Love, Jessica. Well, thank you. And let's all pray for Jessica's dad, won't you? Well, that's all the time we have today, boys and girls. I want to thank you, Hannah, for joining us today. Boys and girls, I want to encourage you to reach out, be a friend to someone, will you? And let them know that Jesus loves them, because it's kids' time to share Jesus.